everyone. Welcome back to my channel on human design. I am Pragya, and in today's video, I wanted to talk about the undefined solar plexus and the real dilemma of an undefined solar plexus. I know that there is a lot of talk about the not self strategy of the undefined solar plexus that is avoiding truth and confrontation. And it is true that someone that has an undefined solar plexus or an inconsistent or unreliable way of dealing with emotions is likely to avoid truth in conflict and make it a mental strategy in order to experience less nervousness in their life. But I don't think the real problem is avoidance of conflict, is avoidance of confrontation. I think there's a deeper problem here that we're failing to recognize and therefore are failing to live a life of true intimacy and depth. So that's what we're going to discuss in today's video. I do recommend checking out the two videos that I've made on the Solar Plexus Center so far, just because I think they provide a foundational level of understanding of the mechanics of the solar plexus motor. And if we are to really understand the amplification of the emotional motor within our systems, I think it's important to grasp what the motor is in its fundamental nature and what different flavors of it can we actually experience within our system. So I'll link those videos either up here or down below in the description box, and you can check them out and come back to this video. I think the first thing to understand about an undefined or an open center is that because there is a lack of definition through a channel in that center, that there isn't a fixed and reliable or consistent way of accessing the intelligence of that center or accessing the energy of that center or accessing the pressure of that center or accessing the identity of that center. The simplest way that I like to think about an undefined or an open center is that it's not here to output that frequency into the world. Anywhere that we have openness or a lack of definition is where we are receptors of conditioning, is where we are an input machine. And it's not just that we're an input machine in our openness, but that once we take that conditioning in, we amplify that conditioning and not just amplify it, but distort it within our system. And I think this detail is not emphasized enough because when we talk about receiving conditioning in our openness, we are rarely talking about our experience being a distorted experience, especially when it comes to a center like the solar plexus center, which is a motor center, and the conditioning that we receive from it is already quite charged and powerful and volatile in some sense. And when we take that conditioning in, it is amplified, which means that we experience it probably in a more emphasized way than someone that has that definition. And not just an emphasized, amplified way, but also that its frequency is kind of distorted because of that amplification. So, what we experience in our openness, what we experience in places where we don't have definition is conditioning in a distorted, amplified, magnified, emphasized way. And this is exactly what leads to people being extremely reactionary when it comes to their openness. especially when it comes to the motor centers, because they are backed by energy. So, when we talk about the solar plexus center in particular, the solar plexus center, as I had previously discussed in the previous videos, is a motor center that has a fixed, reliable, and consistent emotional chemistry. In other words, there is a fixed way of dealing with the neurotransmitters that are released by the brain in order to maintain all nervous system functions in the body, or that there is a fixed and consistent emotional way of dealing with the world that we live in. A defined solar plexus center has a chemical wave that has a specific pattern in the way that it operates, and it is through being able to ride that wave that an emotional person reaches a place of clarity within themselves that enables them to live a life of truth, intimacy, and a deep connection with their emotional spirit. Now, this chemical wave is a wave that moves from hope to pain, or a wave that moves from an emotionally high vantage point to an emotionally low vantage point, moving through all the phases that come between these two extreme emotional states. And a special characteristic of someone that has a consistent emotional wave is that of emotional nervousness. An emotionally unclear person is going to experience a sense of fear, a sense of unease, a sense of emotional nervousness within their system until they can get to a place of emotional maturity within themselves about what it is that they are processing through their sensory nervous system. It is important to note that someone that has a defined solar plexus has an emotional wave that is operating within them, regardless of whether they're making a decision about something or not. What is important to understand here is that a defined emotional processes life through its emotional wave and consistently outputs its emotional clarity or chaos out into the world in order to express its emotional spirit in relationship to life. Ultimately, the emotional center, the solar plexus center, is here to take humanity into a deeper level of spiritual experience, into a deeper level of truth with our own spirit. The solar plexus center is not about survival, it's not about taking advantage of our experience, but it is about getting to the very essence of our experience on this planet. And that's something really special. However, things get very chaotic when we have a lack of understanding of one, the function and the undeniable nature of this emotional wave that is a reality within 51% of the population, and two, when we have a lack of understanding of its impact on undefined solar plexus, and also a lack of understanding of how to work with something like this within our real lived experience. When an undefined solar plexus person is around someone with a consistent fixed wave that moves from hope to pain, that moves from being nervous about life to gaining a deeper clarity about life, that moves from emotionally very high to emotionally very low. Emotional experience can be very chaotic, destabilizing, and triggering. You see, undefined solar plexus do not have a consistent way of managing the neurotransmitters that are released by the brain. In other words, their emotional chemistry is deeply impacted by the emotional chemistry of the other. However, the problem here is that in a lot of ways, they are not prepared for an influx of that emotional chemistry, and furthermore, are not equipped enough to handle amplification and distortion of something that is already quite volatile in its original frequency. In some sense, emotions are not that big of a deal to a defined solar plexus. And again, I say that with some hesitation because I know that there is a lot of emotional repression that is a reality in emotional folks, which we're going to talk about in another video. But in general, I would say someone that has a defined solar plexus is someone that has some sense of comfort when it comes to being emotional, when it comes to having emotions, when it comes to having feelings, when it comes to having a way to process them within your actual physical and mental body. For an undefined solar plexus, on the other hand, emotions can, in experience, feel way too overwhelming, especially when you're younger and not equipped to understand that this is something that will come and go, that this is something that rises and falls, that they're capable of processing within their system. I mean, life as an undefined solar plexus child can be very, very overwhelming in the beginning because you have an influx of this emotional chemistry. And then, if you have dormant gates in your solar plexus, then you not only have an influx of emotional chemistry coming from the outside, but you also have this activation of your own emotional chemistry, of which you don't have a consistent way of processing. So, the experience of that physiologically means immense nervous system dysregulation, being put in a fight, flight, or freeze response unexpectedly as a young child when you are ill equipped with managing that nervousness within your body and ill equipped to understand what is really happening can be very traumatic. Not only do you experience this unexpected, distorted, nervous, motorized, emotional amplification within your body, you also experience a lot of shame for becoming the face of that emotionality growing up. I know that I grew up with two highly emotional beings, and that growing up, I was consistently amplifying that emotional frequency and becoming the face of the chaos more often than not. And that brings with it its own psychological trauma, in addition to the physical trauma that you experience within your body. And again, this is not to shame anyone that is emotional out there. An emotional person can't help that they have that emotional chemistry. An emotional person cannot change that they go up and down. An emotional person cannot change that we experience that amplified and distorted within our system. That is a reality that both sides have to accept. However, what I'm trying to iterate here is that an undefined solar plexus child not only experiences physical dysregulation, but also experiences psychological shame or trauma because of the display of emotionality. You can now see why this experience would naturally lead to the mental strategy of avoiding truth and confrontation. An emotionally undefined child is extremely mentally and physically scared of being in an emotionally charged environment. So, not only do they try to avoid any kind of potential confrontations or anything that could potentially lead to a conflict that could set off the emotional being, they also inherently learn to please others in that process. They learn that being nice is the way to avoid this physical and psychological dysfunction that they experience within their body. They learn to lie about their truth. They learn to say things in order to make other people feel nice. An undefined emotional child that isn't raised with the awareness of the mechanics and isn't given the tools to process the incoming conditioning learns to live a secret life. And this mental strategy can become so deep that they can find themselves living a life that they cannot even recognize. That they are with people that they don't like, that they do things that they don't like, that they're in environments that are not good for them. Overall, you can find yourself in a deeply unfulfilling place where, even though you've given it your all to be nice and to care for others and to try to manage the emotional environment, that you still find yourself in a life that you cannot recognize. And at some point of time, the truth of that is undeniable. I can say this for myself. I spent close to, I think, 24 years pleasing others, amplifying others, being a version of myself that others could digest, that was unproblematic, that was highly considerate of them. But I did reach a point in my life where I became so depressed because I couldn't recognize myself in the mirror. I couldn't recognize the life that I was living. It was all a big fat lie. And I knew that I was the biggest fraud on the planet. And that was utterly devastating. It's not like an undefined solar plexus likes to lie. It's not like an undefined solar plexus isn't constantly at war within themselves when they are people pleasing, when they are being nice, when they are compromising all the time. It's not something that feels good on the inside, but the impact or the trauma from having experienced so much nervous system dysregulation in our childhood forces us to continue down this path until it's too much. And then I think the most common thing that an undefined solar plexus will do is to run away, is to avoid conflict and truth in such a big way that they totally and absolutely disappear from your life. And I realize this tendency to avoid having difficult conversations, to avoid saying my truths to people in my life long before I found human design. But what really changed things for me, and I think this is the point of the video, that what really changed my lived experience of going from being a people pleaser, of going from someone that was compromising on what was my truth the whole time, that was saying sweet white lies, that was being nice, doing the nice thing. What changed my lived experience from this to someone that became confident enough to stand in my truth was not understanding that I'm a people pleaser, was not understanding that I'm someone that avoids conflict and truth. It was actually being able to work with my trauma, being able to work with my body, being able to learn how to bring relaxation to my nervous system, being able to soothe myself, being able to regulate myself on my own, and learning to regulate with others. The real practical dilemma of an undefined solar plexus or an open solar plexus is that we don't know how to regulate ourselves, how to regulate by ourselves, and how to regulate with others. And we also don't understand the concept of not attaching to what it is that we experience emotionally within our systems. Before human design came into my life, I very naturally, slowly started to move towards yoga, started to move towards energy healing, started to move towards processing my emotions through therapy, started to move towards breath work, started to move towards meditation. Some of these practices taught me how to become an observer of what it is that I experience in my life. And some of these practices helped me work with the trauma that I had been storing in my body all this while. And not only that, it helped me move through the trauma that I had experienced previously, but also over a period of time, I got better at processing what it is that I was experiencing as I was receiving the conditioning. My relationship with my parents improved dramatically and drastically when I started to take the responsibility of managing my own nervous system, of learning to understand when it was that I was overwhelmed, and learning to expand my capacity of being able to hold emotions, of being able to hold nervousness that I was not capable of holding within my system as a child. And again, this isn't something that I could just click my finger and do. This is something that I still work on every single day of my life. It's a process. But I think I've gotten so much better at noticing the amplification and distortion of other people's emotions within my body and learning not to make those my own, even though sometimes it's just something that happens. But the amount of time that it takes me now to realize that I'm just amplifying someone else's emotional system and that it isn't something that I need to hold on to, and also that it is something that will pass with time. Something that really helps me is also submerging myself in water, isolating myself in my own space. Maybe sometimes I need to go work out to expel that energy out of my system. So there's loads of ways of working with the conditioning that I do receive from others. But I also think that I've gotten a lot wiser at understanding that even if someone has an emotional response to my truth, it doesn't change my truth. And it doesn't change the fact that it's important for me to stand in my truth. Because when I didn't stand in my truth, I ended up creating a life full of lies. A life in which I felt like a fraud, a life in which I didn't even recognize myself. And I know that that is a special kind of hell. That's in a lot of ways way more difficult than the temporary, emotionally volatile experience that I may have with others when I am expressing my truth and when I am allowing them to go through their process of reaching a place of emotional clarity. I have never had deeper, more honest, more fulfilling relationships than I have now. My life has never looked more like my life. I've never felt more like myself than I do now. And I think this is because I have developed the capacity to manage a wide range of emotional experiences, even very, very difficult ones. And I think being able to manage difficult emotional experiences with success over a period of time also gives you the confidence to keep being in your process of showing up as yourself and allowing others to show up as themselves as honestly as possible. So, my recommendation to any undefined or open solar plexus is not to begin to learn to confront, because the confrontation will automatically happen when you have the capacity to hold within your system a wide range of emotional experiences and to not attach to them and make them really personal. I think living a life of truth becomes a lot easier when you are willing to go through emotionally difficult experiences knowing fully well that they're not going to last a lifetime, knowing fully well that it is worth it for you to be honest, and knowing fully very well that there are things that you can do for yourself in order to come back to a place of stability which you lose in emotionally charged situations. The solution is not to avoid truth and confrontation. The solution is to begin to be able to develop into the kind of person that can withstand emotionally charged situations and come out the other side stronger and more stable within your own truth and within your own sense of self. Movement can be a huge ally in your process. Somatic practices can be a huge ally in your process. Breathing practices can be a huge ally in your process. Energy practices can be a huge ally in your process. Water can be a huge ally in your process. Processing with others and learning how to co regulate can be a huge ally in your process. And I can say that for me, what really, really works is a mix of self regulation and co regulation through doing internal work as well as work with others, and learning to develop the confidence in overcoming emotionally difficult situations over a period of time. I don't think you can become really wise about emotions unless you develop the capacity to experience them as impartially as possible. And I think that's the journey that we are on as undefined emotionals. So that's it for this video. I hope that this was helpful for you. You know, I always enjoy reading your comments. So if you have anything to say or any experiences to share, leave them down below. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.